promising teenager who was chosen to play for New South Wales through a long career at international level and finally charting the course of Australian cricket from his influential and sometimes controversial coaching role. He ended up playing 62 tests for Australia, averaging just under 50 with the bat.
That's the 50. 50 to Simpson.
How many runs cumulatively have you scored with all those bats over there?
Well, I know I scored over 22,000. Would have taken a few more bats than the ones I've got there.
It's now left to history to judge Simpson's later contribution as national coach, an era which saw Australia rise to the top of the cricketing world. His supporters credit Bob Simpson with playing a pivotal role in the resurgence of Australian cricket. And whatever his critics may say about his style, as coach and as player, they could never question his determination to succeed.
Paul Lockyer's profile of Bob Simpson there from 1996 as we commemorate the great Australian Bob Simpson having passed this weekend. And we're going to talk to Mark Taylor about one of the greats of Australian cricket. Tubby, good to see you. How do you remember Bob Simpson?
Oh, wow. My memories of Simo go back to my first game for New South Wales, way back in 1985, when he was then the coach of New South Wales. So I played just about all my career, professional career, with Simo as a coach in some team, one or the other. A tough competitor, but really focused on the little things in the game, and particularly the fielding, the running between wickets, doing things that other sides weren't doing. And Bob had an edict as a coach, first and foremost, that the best fielding side in the world will be the best cricket side in the world. And I think that's about right, and it still holds today. He looked after those little things that other sides didn't. So I remember him as a coach, but also as a selector, a mentor to a number of players. And I can think back to his playing days, although I never saw him actually play. I remember him coming back in 1977 in that World Series cricket era where Bob was pulled out of retirement at the age of 41 to captain our then national side. So he gave a lot to Australian cricket. There's no doubt about that.
Tubby, West Indies, 1995. Obviously, we saw there in the package you holding up the trophy. When he was the coach of the Australian team and you were captain, what sort of influence did he have on you, mate?
Well, I think right from the word go, just doing those little things right, training well, not over the top training, but training well. And the fact that Simo was an opening bat, a slip fielder, also a damn fine leg spinner as well. It took 70-odd test wickets. I think he and I resonated because we were similar in that in certain regards, that we weren't flashy players. I know Bob wasn't a flashy player, but he did those things right. And when I first came into the New South Wales side, I remember him saying to me, he says, "Mark, where do you field?" And I said, "Mate, I field in slips." And he says, "Right, you're now with me. You're with me." And I was with Simo all the time, along with Heels, Mark and Steve Waugh, Shane Warne, and we just continued to work on our slips fielding. So that attention to detail is what I remember the most.
What about off the field, Tubby? As a coach, reportedly a fairly hard taskmaster. There's a lovely story when you get to a hotel, Bob would become best mates with the concierge, and that concierge then would be almost like his spy, so that when you blokes were out gallivanting around town, Bob would be the first to know.
I can't. I don't want to say too much to put myself in trouble here, but I learnt that from a very early part of my career. My first game for New South Wales was at the TCA ground in Hobart, and the third day of the game coincided with my 21st birthday. So I did have a couple of bevies on that. Must have been about a Saturday night or a Sunday night. And I missed the team bus the next day. And I was rooming with Mark Waugh, who was also on debut. So we got to the ground a little bit late. Well, Simo put us through 45 minutes fielding drill, which I then worked out very early on that you had to try and avoid, because by the end of it, your legs were jelly. You could hardly stand up. And you thought the extra beer or two you might have had wasn't worth the pain the next morning. So I learnt that in my very first game.
Tubby, very special to have you on board to remember a very special Australian in Bob Simpson. Thanks very much.
Absolutely, mate. A sad day the other day for Australian cricket. He will be missed.